Hey everyone, welcome back to Comic Frontline. Jay here with another review. Today I'm reviewing Batman Eternal number 3. This issue is written by Scott Snyder and James Tynion the fourth. The consulting writers are Ray Fawkes, John Layman, and Tim Seeley. The art is by Jason Fabok. Stephanie Brown is back and her father isn't pleased to see her. Meanwhile, a gang war is being waged in the city and Batman is trying to fight it on his own. Right away we're introduced to Stephanie Brown. Stephanie is the typical teenager. She's living in the suburbs. She's a product of a broken home, so she spends some time with her mother and sometimes in the weekends with her father. Her father dropped her off a day early and she forgot her cue pad on her bed at her father's house, so she goes back for it. She's on the phone with her mother, telling her mother, I'll be real fast. No one's going to hurt me in the suburbs. And the mother's like, there's a reason why your father dropped you off a day early. Just get back here now. But being a teenager, she thinks she knows everything and nothing can hurt her. She walks in on her father, who's in full costume, and he's at his table sitting around with a bunch of other costume villains. And she's like, what's going on here? And bop, she's knocked out. Meanwhile, the GCPD, Harvey and a couple of the other cops are standing around. Forbes is being a real idiot and talking some trash about Gordon when Maggie walks up, who is a captain, and she's, next in line as the succession of Gordon as the commissioner, and she starts to take on that role, telling them to stop, get to your job, tells them what to do, barking orders. Meanwhile, the new guy, Bard, is down in the holding cell visiting Commissioner Gordon. He tells him, Batman's on this, right? That's what he does. He'll figure this out by this time tomorrow. You'll be out and free. And Gordon's like, I don't know. Right now, you need to believe that you have the person because all evidence proves that I did this. And he's like, no, you told me that it's a war here in Gotham. And I'm not ready to count you out of it just yet. At the Iceberg Casino, Penguin's about to punish one of his girls for doing a favor for her brother, let him win, when Batman walks in and lets him know that, Falcone is back, and if Penguin knows anything and is holding back from him, he'll be sorry. Penguin is genuinely in the dark on this. He does not know, and he does not want Falcone back. So Batman moves on. Back at Gotham City Hall, Falcone and the mayor are talking to Forbes, who is more than pleased to let the old ways come back. Where, cops did what they wanted to. A bad guy got shot by a cop, no one raised an eyebrow. It was bad guys versus good guys. They let certain people walk away because, they lined their pockets. Everyone was out for themselves, and he likes that old way. Batman is at the Batcave, and he's trying to figure out what everything means because nothing adds up. He knows that this guy was Falcone's man, and that he disappeared with them, but now he's back, and he's even using his real name. Why would he use his real name? And someone had to implant that thing into Gordon's head, either by drug or some other form, and Batman's going to get down to it. But fires break out all over, so Batman's on his way. Back at Stephanie Brown's father's house, Stephanie's waking up, and he's told, you have to do what you got to do. Your girl knows too much. She's seen the boss. She's heard the plans. You got to take her out. And her father's actually very cold-hearted here. He wants to do this. And he goes to do it, but Stephanie is fast on her feet and gets out in time. Batman starts to clean up the mess while Penguin rallies his men around. And the GCPD gets a rude awakening when Forbes is made the new interim commissioner. and he declares they're not going to do jack about all this stuff that's going on with the Penguins buildings going up in flames and all that. What they're going to do is they're going to go after the big guy, Batman. So Falcone has a war on Penguin. Penguin's launching a war on Falcone. And the GCPD are now supposed to wage a war on Batman. So Gotham City has become a war zone. And in the middle of all this is the one person who knows something. And that's Stephanie Brown, who reaches out to her mother, but only gets her answer machine. The story in this is perfect. I mean, if you read Gang War, Batman's event, Gang War, which Stephanie Brown was also a part of back then, and you found that lacking, this felt like what that book should have been. This is all out war on Gotham. Everyone, their sides being picked everywhere. You don't know who's on whose side, and to see Stephanie Brown's father like this, it kind of reminds me of Artemis and her father, Sportsmaster, back on Young Justice. He is very cold. Taskmaster is very cold. He does not care who you are. You know, I mean, not Taskmaster, Cluemaster. He does not care who you are. He is willing to sacrifice his own daughter for, profit, because that's, it's what you got to do. He's very cold-hearted. He's got the gun. He's ready to point at her. If she didn't reach up and pull something off of his belt, she could have died, and he did not care. And it's just wow. I mean, like, the way that they really did this, Scott Snyder and James Tynion, perfect story. I cannot wait to see what happens in issue 4. I cannot wait to see what happens in 5, 6, 25, 37, 48, and 52. I want to know what happens in each and every book. I want all 52 issues right now in front of me so I can just binge read them all. But we gotta wait for a full year for the conclusion of this story. And right now, I'm in hook, line, sinker, everything. Eternal is shaping up to be the best comic book event that I've read in the last maybe 4 or 5 years. I give the story 5 stars. The art, normally I like more detailed art. Jason Fabok, though, he actually does a pretty good job here. It could use a little bit more details here and there in the background, but that is very, very minor. And I like the darkness of it. He makes Gotham City look dark and dangerous. He makes it, even when Stephanie's in the suburbs, you still get the feel that, this is not a safe place. Gotham City is not safe, even in the suburbs. Gotham City is still Gotham City, and I like that. I like the feeling, the environment, the setting that he gives. So I'm going to give the art in this book 5 stars. I cannot find anything wrong with the art or the story here. So overall, it's 5 stars for me. This is by far the most superior event going on in comic books right now. Batman Eternal is just way out there on the awesome scale. I'm loving it. Stephanie Brown is back, and she's written great. She's the best Stephanie Brown that I've read in a while. She might be better than ever in this. And there's only one issue with her. She's only on a couple of pages, but she's already written really, really well. I cannot wait to see her transform into Spoiler and how that goes about. I say pick up this whole event. If you're going to pick up one of the weekly events that DC is doing, make it Batman Eternal. Well, those are my thoughts. Now I want to know what yours are in the comments below. Also, like this video, subscribe to Comic Frontline, check out and subscribe to my channel, The Comic Book Theater. Check out Comic Frontline, the site, for all the latest previews, reviews, news, and interviews. For even more news on all things related to comics, comicrelated.com is your source for all your comic book needs with daily updates. And don't forget to like and follow me and Comic Frontline on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. I'll include all these links in the description below. Until then, I'll catch you in the next review.